Here is the 2025 BMW M4 Competition convertible in black sapphire metallic over red and black full Milano leather. This year we do get some upgrades, plus more horsepower, dropping the 0 to 60 for the convertible and the coupe. But is this going to be the best compared to Mercedes and Audi? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons, the problem that I have with the M4 Competition, and we're going to start off with the refresh LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the kidney grille with the M4 Competition badging, and the convertible only comes as an xDrive. So I like that, because if you're thinking about the coupe and you don't tick the box for the xDrive, you're going to save a couple grand, but it's going to be about 0.2 of a second slower than this. The lower is going to be super aggressive with the front and rear parking sensors and a 360-degree reverse camera, because we have the park assist package. And underneath the long hood houses the S58, which is the 3.0-liter BMW M twin power turbo inline 6-cylinder, producing 523 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. Reaching 60, BMW has a lot of different quotes. It goes all the way down to 3.4 seconds. If you go to their website, it's going to be at 3.8 seconds. Either way, this is going to be faster than anybody in its class. Because if you're thinking about Audi, going to the RS5 Sportback, add the competition package, it's not going to add anything underneath the hood for performance. You're still getting 444 horsepower underneath there, and a 0 to 60 is going to be a little bit slower than this one. Going to the Mercedes, whether you tick the box for the AMG C43 or you go up into the CLS, either of the two is going to be less in performance than this, and horsepower. Now, when you go into the 63, that's a different ball game, because you're getting over 600 horsepower, but then the price is going to be about 20 to 30 grand more than this. We have that paired with a 275 35 up front, 280 35 20 out back, with 6 pistons housed behind those red brake calipers in the front, vented slotted rotors, and it should be, because the top speed on this gets up to 180 miles per hour, with the best weight distribution for a convertible and for its class at 5149. And when you're at a 6-figure price point, MPGs doesn't matter, but just for spec purposes, you're getting 16 MPGs for the city and 22 MPGs for the highway. The lower skirt flares out, side view mirrors are M-Spec, adaptive M suspension with an M-Sport differential. And when you're thinking about that xDrive, which is the all-wheel drive, it's a very intelligent system, because when you are mashing that gas pedal, it'll send 100% torque to the rear wheels, giving you exactly what you need for performance, and it will also help whenever the wheels are slipping to give you better traction. CLS inspired LED tail lights with one of the most aggressive rear exits with the diffuser, quad exhaust tips, and when you're thinking package of what you're getting, 523 horsepower. Think about the M8 Competition, that's 617 horsepower. That's going to be another $30,000 to $40,000 more, and you're getting near the same 0 to 60s. That's why the M4 Competition is a sweet spot. Quick release, going into 13.6 cubic feet of storage. Got a little storage nook here and on this side. Now with the top up, you have room, but if you want the top down, you're gonna lose top to bottom space, because you have to pull this tray. And if it's not pulled down, you're not going to put the top down. And fold down the rear bench right here, and it's going to give you a little bit more space to take it for a nice weekend cruise. But this is the M4 Competition. We got to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. "16-way power seat adjustment for the front, heated, ventilated in the full Milano leather, neck warmers, the M4 illuminates, perforated, contrast stitching, manual cushion extensions, memory for the driver." Headroom and leg room. The M4 competition, it's going to be driver focused. Because we have the executive package, we get the heads-up display, heated steering wheel, and remote start. Curve 1 panel with a 14.9 touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio, Wi-Fi hotspot, Amazon Alexa. Put it into reverse and we got a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear with automatic parking and backup assist. Click on the 3D view and you can click these icons here to go all around the vehicle. You can also use the xdrive here, so you can do the same thing without reaching up. And the car wash view will show you the trajectory for the front, so it makes it easier so you don't scratch the wheel layout. New inside is these air vents and this carbon fiber insert here with the ambient lighting that's going to surround it, and you're going to have the same switches here, so it's going to mimic the 7 and the 5 series. Carbon fiber opens up into a wireless charger, USB 12 volt, a digital key for the M4 competition, and the key fob. Carbon fiber goes back into the center. You get the M badging. Going to be soft to touch because of the Milano leather. Opens up into a medium storage pocket with the USB port. A new steering wheel. This is a 3-spoke flat bottom. Carbon fiber inserts, multi-function. You get the M1 and M2 paddle shifts with the actual paddle shifts to change the gears. And what happens with these is you can tailor it the way you like. So M1 would be more for your driving needs, and M2 will basically make it as sport derived as possible for the track. Gauge cluster is a 12.3 digital reader that can go through an array of different content, including the sport displays, your tire, engine, full map, and the heads-up display. You can also configure to reduce the view. You can have directional view, standard view, and you can also do a minimal view. Auto dimming rear view mirror, and the dash and door panels configuring together. Harman Kardon sound system. It's going to be a little bit more sporty. One touch up and down for the windows with a long storage pocket, a beverage holder carved out, and a storage pocket for the driver. The seat belt gets the stitch work. It's going to electronically move forward. With the top up, headroom, I'm going to be against it. Leg room, the seat still has an index. It's literally going all the way back. And that's pretty much the room I have. Cup holders, you get a little armrest with the storage nook, nothing behind the driver or passenger seat, air vents in the center. But with the top down, obviously it's not going to be a problem, and I could rest my arms up here. And the way this is positioned, it actually looks like it's going to help a little bit with air, but I would probably keep the top up if I was in the back. 523 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. BMW gives us quotes down to 3.2 seconds, 51.49. We do have tire shine, but you know the drill. It's quick. Man, it's quick. Even with the tire shine, it just wants to go. Wow, that thing is super impressive. It feels a lot different than last year's model. I know it's only 20 horsepower more. Man, check this thing out. The exhaust note definitely comes in with the top down. And even with the tire shine, I feel confident with what I'm doing. Not gonna go crazy. Check out that exit. Wow, it's a symphony that comes in. It actually sounds like a V8 when you have it in sport mode, Sport Plus, and you have the active exhaust note turned on. So it just gives you every excitement that you need at a 6-figure price. I mean, I can see somebody really enjoying this for a weekend car and a daily use, because it gives you the blend of both. And when you're thinking about competition, it is hard to compete against this because of the price segment that you're in, because Audi doesn't really have a variant that is at this level, especially when you're thinking a convertible. And then if you go up a tier, say you go into the RS7 Sportback, that's going to be just a touch faster. It doesn't make sense to pay over 120 grand when you can get something at this level. It's going to take me to some pros and cons. Starting off with the pros is we get the increase in horsepower. We get the CSL inspired tail lights. The front lights are reworked. The inside cabin, you get a touch of the 5 Series and the 7 Series for the air vents. I like the steering wheel. The con is that you no longer have the ambient lighting on the steering wheel, so if you are using the backup or park assist feature, you no longer have that red or green ambient light that's going to come into play. But I do like the feel of it. I like how the carbon fiber highlights the whole interior of it. And when you go in for a competition, I mean, this is really the only way to tick the box. And I like that when you go convertible, you only get it this spec. Now when you go into the coupe, you're going to have a few different ways to configure it in which you will lose horsepower, because you would have to tick the box for the competition package. You also have to tick the box for the xDrive. So you're getting a lot more when you go convertible, and you get the best of both worlds. With the top up, let's see if we can hear that exhaust note. You can. You can hear it very well. Steering to it is very light, so it helps make it easy, especially when you're going these higher speeds on this vehicle. We have it in road mode with the active exhaust note off, so we can hear the difference for performance and for the sound deadening. It's going to be night and day difference. The drive itself too, it doesn't feel as athletic when you are in just road modes. And to start off for my cons, has to be lowering that exhaust note. It pretty much makes it silent. When you start getting into a 6-figure price vehicle, you still kind of want to hear it in the interior. You don't hear it unless you're hitting over 3 RPMs. The cargo, it's fine. They still haven't addressed that little pocket that you have to fold down for the convertible top, and I'm tall, so the opening is a little bit harder for me. If you're maybe 5'5", it's not going to be too much of an issue. Plus the rear bumper kind of comes out a little bit, making it easier to scratch. The M4 competition is always my favorite because of the blend that you're getting. You could get this under 6 figures. It is hard to get it this year because they have increased the price, which is another con to me. The ride to it is relatively soft. Most people are going to say, well, it's an M4 competition. Is it going to be as rigid as an M3? It actually feels a little bit more plush in this. But then when you're thinking price, you're going to spend at least 25 to 30 grand more to go from that to this. Another con can be that you're not receiving a manual transmission for the competition, but the ZF automatic transmission is going to be faster in the shifts, and we didn't get it last year either for the competition. We're going to check the turn radius, and we're going to put it back into sport everything so you can hear that exhaust note, in which turn radius, everything sport. We're at about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. That's just so you can hear that exhaust note filter in. Switch it back into a comfort or ride mode. Now you don't hear anything, so it's a little bit more settled. And the only problem that I can have with this is they've taken out a lot of the ambient lighting. All the configuration is still done through the iDrive. This is the 8.5, and you still have to click through multiple pages. As an example, the climate control, you can turn up and down the actual temperature, but to change the fan speed, you got to go into climate menu. When you want to change to sport mode, you have to change multiple settings like I was doing before I rolled the camera. It just needs to be cleaned up because you have so much power, and yet to untap it, you have to go through a lot of bells and whistles. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2025 BMW M4 competition convertible for our car review.